Administrator Knight, in the last few months, FEMA has announced a number of changes to attempt to help struggling communities transition to their new flood maps. We appreciate that. One of the struggles faced by communities is that homeowners in a new special flood hazard area, similar to what the Senator from Arkansas talked about, are faced with sudden anticipated expenses, $1,700 a year. The tremendous financial drain is not a part of their household calculations, puts them in a heck of a bind. Senators have expressed their support for at least a phased-in premium for residents of areas that are newly mapped into the floodplain. While FEMA has not put such a policy in place, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, I appreciate the attempt to use an extended referral risk policy to grant relief to some of those residents. One of the most important elements of this new policy is that it is retroactive to when many of the new maps from the MAP modernization program began to go in effect. I'm getting somewhere with this. This allows communities who are already struggling with new insurance rates to better handle the shift. Another concern that many communities have is the appeals process for disagreements with FEMA findings. Last week, FEMA proposed, you probably know where I'm going now, proposed an impartial third-party arbitration panel for resolving scientific disputes that cannot be resolved through the existing appeals process. However, this proposal, this one, is not retroactive. So it's unavailable to any community that feels their appeal was wrongly rejected, but for whom the new flood maps have already gone into effect. What will FEMA do for the communities that are already living with new flood maps that they disagree with?
Well, sir, there's a lot of discussion in there. First, I'd like to start with the graduated rate proposal. Yep. That is, we are not, that is not in our statutes to do that, but we support that, and the administrator has come on board to say that we do support that. Regarding the scientific resolution panel, yes, we think it's a great way forward, and we appreciate that you're supportive.
So why don't we make it retroactive?
So the retroactive piece is that for communities that use these flood maps to make decisions in their communities, these maps are already in place, and as many folks that come into the maps go out of the maps as they're updated and improved. And so to go back and change that could change a lot of activities that communities are doing to reduce their risk in their communities.
But you do understand that without it being retroactive, this doesn't help the folks who have already been placed into a new scheme?
If they're placed it, we resolved many of the appeals. We resolved many of the appeals. We've had 275 appeals out of 92,000 map panels, which is pretty good, but there still is an opportunity. We have a map change process.
Okay.
And so any community that feels like their data is still not correct, there is a map revision process that they can submit to FEMA, and we will update the map.
And that process includes what?
It includes, there's a list of data that they have to provide, much like the appeals, that demonstrates that it's new improved data.
Okay. Well, I've got a town called Miles City that is in a heck of a quandary over this, and we were hoping this appeals panel could help them, but it's not retroactive, so they're out of luck. So if it was possible.
They can submit a map revision, a request for map revision.
Okay.